Tomorrow, we finally play at 1 p.m. against the Washington Commanders. The injury report we're going to go over. Some players have been ruled out. Could affect the lineup going in on Sunday. And you guys have no idea how important the trenches are for Sunday.
We better do it. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, enjoying the weekend, and we are going to be getting into week 4 of the NFL season, our first early game, 1 of 3 of the season, because, we don't have enough 1 o'clock games this year where it's an early game. So I want to go over, obviously, the injury report for the Eagles. I want to go over the Washington Commanders a little bit, and some news has arisen with a couple players and, what we're going to do Sunday and for the future of this team. I think going through the injury report is important here, and it looks like Sidney Brown is going to be out of this game, dealing with that hamstring injury. And look, it's unfortunate. I didn't want to lose Sidney Brown and Justin Evans. Justin Evans is still questionable. I'm hearing that he is going to play on Sunday. I think Justin Evans had the neck injury, but other news has come out on, if you're losing Sidney Brown and if you're losing Justin Evans, because Sidney Brown is could play nickel, could move the safety, could move around. I really want Sidney Brown to become that hybrid piece for this defense, for the future at least, and for this season. They have to start cross-training a lot of guys. And it looks like from the rumor mill, Kelee Ringo has this week, I don't know if he was doing it in training camp, but it looks like they have been moving. This is from Ed Kratz. They have been moving Kelee Ringo around. They have been cross-training him to safety, giving him something to do. And I think all of us fans have been since he's really been drafted and he wasn't going to be the starting corner this year, and obviously needs a little bit of work and some playing time. And Ringo might get a shot at safety, and who knows what that could look like for the future here. And, throw him in the fire, see what he could do. And, I think we've all said that he would be a better contact safety. I don't know what he's going to do on coverage too much. I think he, struggled a little bit in the training camp and some of the preseason games. I think we know that, but guys, he's a rookie at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And definitely would like to be more of a role player for this defense, since he is a 4th round pick. And the Eagles aggressively moved up to go get him before that day started. And would like him to get some playing time. There should be a lot of players that the Eagles are going to want to cross train, and Kelee Ringo is definitely one of them. So we'll see what happens with Justin Evans. But it looks like I think from what I heard, I heard Justin Evans is going to play on Sunday. Sidney Brown is 100% out. Reed Blankenship was dealing with a little bit of an injury, but he's perfectly fine. I'm not really worried about that too much going into it. And then kind of going down the line, Fletcher Cox had a light practice. He'll be back. Devontae Smith was sick for the day. Light practice for him. Quez Watkins is officially ruled out for the game against Washington. So this is another week where we're going to have Olamide Zaccheaus come right in and get his second shot to be productive. He had 2 very big catches, one on the left sideline with 2 really good, patient throws from Jalen Hurts, the one for that touchdown and that one in the back of the end zone that he could have got. I think Hurts messed up the pass. I think it should have been a little bit higher and a little bit in front of Zaccheaus on that play. I think he would have had 2 touchdowns on the day. So, he gets a second shot. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Quez Watkins is injured. What do we do? It sucks. It's unfortunate. Quez is on the last year of his deal right now, and he's not really doing too much. So if Zaccheaus shows out for another week, it's going to be really tough for the coaching staff to put Quez Watkins back in as the starter and then restart all over again. I don't even know how many catches that Quez has, maybe 2? I mean, I don't even know. They haven't got the wide receiver 3. Last week was the first week in week 3. They got the wide receiver 3 involved here. And, this is why you sign a guy like Zaccheaus that has, a lot of starting experience in the slot, pure slot guy. And is a burner as well. I think he's great at that. I think he catches the ball really well. And, it's like getting another veteran receiver in here that has a little bit of speed on the inside. And, had a really good year with the Falcons last year. His best year of his career, really, with over 500 yards and 2 touchdowns with a real crappy Falcons offense. So if he shows out for another week with the Philadelphia Eagles against Washington, it's going to be really hard to put Quez as the starter at this point. Quez is going to have to work for it, or could lose his job. I think he could lose his job to Zaccheaus if Zaccheaus has another banger game this Sunday. And, that the Eagles can't play favorites. They got to go with the hot hand. And since Nick talks about the hot hand all the time, and if Zaccheaus is the hot hand and Jalen Hurts has really good chemistry with him and they're really doing a fantastic job, I mean, that's what's going to happen, and I think he could potentially, Quez could lose his job to Zaccheaus this year. And I don't know, maybe the Eagles want to re-sign him next year. I don't know. I'm not really talking about next year, but, this is going to be the second game where Zaccheaus is going to get the start and hopefully produces. Obviously I want some other positions involved as well for this game. I think wide receiver 3 definitely should have a big game this week with some of the secondary with the Commanders this week. I think Zaccheaus might have a hand in on some good yards this week. So we'll see what happens there. Going down from that, Britton Covey had a hamstring. He's full practice. Hopefully a good we're going to a second game with Britton Covey, or a fourth game technically, but had his best game. Is a top 2 punt returner right now. It's the second best punt returner in the league. Averaging 18 yards a punt return. I think he has over 113 yards, something like that. And, I'm going to take the Britton Covey train game by game, but we'll see what happens. We have Zach Cunningham. That was a full practice. He's fine. Dickerson is perfectly fine. Justin Evans, like I said, is questionable, but I've been hearing rumors that he will be ready for Sunday, but we'll see how that goes by tomorrow. Cam Jurgens, full practice with a groin. Boston Scott is back from concussion protocol. So now with Boston Scott back, I'm wondering if they're still going to give Rashad Penny the ball. And I know we've had this discussion a million times with this running back core. And, DeAndre Swift should get majority carries here, and we'll see how the rotation goes with Gainwell being in now with Scott returning, which Scott's probably going to become the kick returner as well. So they might take Devin Allen off of it unless they're going to have Boston Scott and Devin Allen at kick return. I really want to get Devin Allen more shots. He only had, a couple shots last week, nothing much. He just needs more work. I mean, it's the first time he's been thrown into that position besides, preseason for that finale preseason game that we had. So that was interesting. Going into defensive end position with Nolan Smith, and only had, I don't know, 6 to 8 snaps. I forgot how many snaps he had last week. I mean, I think he only had 6 snaps. I think he hit the quarterback once on 6 snaps. Desai is trying to figure out how to get him in the rotation, and this is the easy part that I'm going to tell Desai right now. Okay, Derek Barnett should have the least amount of snaps in this defensive end room. I'm sorry, but the no good first round pick that we had as Derek Barnett that had one good season pretty much that hasn't lived up to anything needs to take a back seat and get the less of the snaps from everybody. Desai has been saying, we've been trying to get everybody in. It's hard to get every person in based on formations and to try to include Nolan Smith in certain packages. I'm just like, dude, he's a first round pick. Okay, there's no excuse. Okay, don't put Derek Barnett more snaps over Nolan Smith because Derek Barnett's a veteran or whatever the case may be. Derek Barnett has 1 tackle for the season. That is it. 1 tackle. Okay, Nolan Smith needs more reps. I feel like you're totally missing quality here. You're totally missing quality to this position. I feel like as much as guys are getting pressures, and I think that obviously makes everyone else successful, pressures make other guys successful. You're getting pressure on the quarterback. He's going in another direction. You're making someone else successful, and you're doing your job, and that's all that matters. The sack numbers don't mean everything in this league. But needs more opportunity. It's just not enough because I think the first couple weeks they've had him as an outside linebacker on the sheet where it tells the percentages of downs and how many times they've been in the game. Last week was nice to see him rush on the edge, and I think I just think he just needs more playing time. I have no issue with him that he's not going to produce this year or nothing. They barely had him in games, and I don't care what Sean Desai has to say about sharing the snaps. It's hard to get every guy in there, and this is a first round pick you just drafted this year. Like, you know what I mean? There's no excuse for it. The guy's got to play. you can't sit him behind Derek Barnett. Yeah, don't tell me that Derek Barnett's better than Nolan Smith right now, because he's not. Because he's not. Okay, I don't care if there's one statistic. I don't care if both of these guys. I don't care if Derek Barnett has one tackle versus Nolan Smith, one QB hit. Okay, and 6 steps. Okay, 9 games. In 9 games, Derek Barnett has 1 tackle. 9. The last 9 games that Derek Barnett has played, 1 tackle. At least he's not being a knucklehead on the field, but I think Nolan Smith needs more opportunity. The coaches have got to know this. Come on now. Don't be stupid. You know that Nolan Smith can play. You know that he could do more. You know you could do more with him. Okay, and they just don't do it. And I better see more Nolan Smith. And he needs to get on his way now. Like, we're going through the 4th week now. Once we get to week 5, 6, once the schedule starts getting more tougher, these defensive ends have got to produce more. Hassan Reddick has got the cast off now, so he is going to be full free reign with his hand motions and his hands. He's got both his thumbs. He can grab onto people, and we're going to start to see that effect of Hassan Reddick now, so he's not flat-handed on one of his hands, when he tries to, it's hard for a defensive end not to get past, and, it's tough to when you're used to making the moves that you used to make on the edge, you can't bend well, you can't grab, you can't do much when you don't have one of your thumbs disposable to you. So technically, you don't even have like one hand that isn't even effective. So I'm expecting Hassan Reddick to start to really pull up a little bit now. But Nolan Smith needs more. This is bunch of bullshit. Derek Barnett asked for a trade this year, probably because he hated the rotation and wants to be more of a starter. That guy doesn't deserve a starting spot. I don't even care. Okay. So please give this man opportunity. Don't make excuses that you're trying to get him in certain packages. Move him up the depth chart. Move him up, please. That's all I'm begging right now. And lastly, I want to go over Sam Howell. And Sam Howell, the quarterback for the Washington Commanders. What is going to take to beat Washington? Throw the record books out. Okay, throw all that out. The only time the Eagles are going to lose is because of the Eagles. The Eagles shooting themselves in the foot is the only way they lose football games. We remember what happened last year. Okay, when we were 7-0 last year, and we faced Washington. I know the refs kind of screwed us on a face mask call, and Quez Watkins had that catch and fumble, which really messed a lot of things up. Honestly, we still had a good year, didn't win the big game, but we were undefeated the last time we faced them, and we lost, and we got kind of screwed over. And I think it was in Philadelphia too when it happened. Sam Howell, I think, and I've said the truth about Sam Howell. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I think when he has time to throw, I think he's got a great arm. He's got receivers to throw to in Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel. He's got 2 monster backs in Brian Robinson and Gibson. Gibson's more of the shifty, fast running back that can line up anywhere. And Brian Robinson is an elusive bruiser, which I really do like in that backfield that they have. Okay? You're facing the number 1 rushing defense this week. Okay, I've already been hearing from Commander fans that the Eagles can't run on this team. Okay, I don't care how much of an aggressive offensive line they have. You know how much you could take. You know what you could do to this team on top of being an aggressive defensive line and a really good one that they do have. Okay, screen game, slants. I mean, if they're going to be that aggressive, which that defensive line is very aggressive, I feel like you can get the screen game going in this game where they're going to, they're going to be way too aggressive. So. Sam Howell, when he gets pressured, that's a whole different story, and the Eagles are going to have a lot of pressures on him. I could see the Eagles sacking him more than 4 times this game, or even more than that. I know I've been saying that every single week, but I think that the pressure is getting there. If the Eagles are not playing too much zone, I feel like they can get a lot more sacks than possible. I understand they're going to give up the big play. They have good receivers. They used a backup tight end last week where, I don't know, Logan Thomas, I think, is coming back. I don't know. The starting tight end should be back this week most likely. They have good corners in Emmanuel Forbes. The other side is pretty good. I mean, they not fantastic. I think Forbes is a really good player. Interesting to see where he lines up. I think there's definitely weakness within the inside when it comes to I think we can take advantage of our wide receiver 3s this week. Screen game, slants, short things. But I don't expect the Eagles to change drastically offensively against the Commanders' defense. I still feel like they're going to sling it. They're going to, Dallas Goedert should have a big game this game, and I think Devontae Smith will be his shot to get another big game. Or both. I think both guys can get over 60, 70 yards apiece. I think one will be over 100. So we'll see how that goes. But, I think against the run, I think Washington's like between 20 to 22, 23 against the run ranked. So they're not fantastic as much as that defensive. You can have great names on your defensive line, but, it depends who you're facing here. This is the best offensive line they're facing this season. I don't care what happened with the Bills and the Commanders last week. I don't care if Sam Howell was sacked 10 times. He's been sacked 19 times in 3 games. 19 times. Okay? 19, and the Bills had 10 of those last week. Okay? He is slated. Sam Howell is slated to get sacked 107 times. That hasn't happened since 2005, 2006. I forgot what team it was. I read about it the other day. Okay? It's not 19 times and 10 of those. The problem with the Bills, or at least the Bills in general, from the differences between the Bills defense and the Eagles is they don't play off coverage as much. And that's what the problem with this defense I have. With Sean Desai's defense, I feel like you could generate a better pass rush if you play a little press. I'm not, if Commanders are third and short and they're lining up 3 to 5 yards, above the first down marker, it's a problem. I hate when they do that. It annoys the crap out of me sometimes and makes me really nervous. They try to keep everything underneath at times. Depending on what Commanders are going to do to Jalen Hurts, cover zero, moving guys back. I mean, the underneath route is always going to be there, which heavily you can get both your number one receivers in, and heavily you can get Dallas Goedert in. You get the whole offense involved pretty much. And this run game. The Eagles could run on this team. The Eagles could 100% throw on this team. And I think all they have to do, if this is Sam Howell's first yearly start as a starting quarterback, he's learning. He's going through adversity right now. Last week, 4 picks and got sacked 10 times. That's a lot of adversity you have to come over. But going into this week is not the best decision that they're making right now. From going from the Bills to the Eagles are not 2 games you want to go back to back. Okay? I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I'm saying if Sam Howell has time in the pocket, he will make every pass. Sam Howell's accuracy is pretty damn good. If you shake him up, he starts to be inaccurate. If you shake him up, he starts to make mistakes, panic throws. He'll throw pick sixes. He'll do everything that you want him to do. Okay? But like I said, I think he is good. I have nothing really that bad to say about him besides those couple things, because we saw it last week. The first 2 weeks might have been a little different, but last week was his worst game of his career so far this year in 2023. And I think it comes down to the offense, both offensive lines and both defensive lines for the Commanders and the Eagles, because because I think the Eagles are definitely better on both sides. I don't think the Commanders, Washington's offensive line has done a fantastic job protecting Sam Howell. They had a lot of issues last week, and there's a lot of tape on where the weak point is. Okay, because I don't think their offensive line is fantastically great either. They haven't done a great job. But we still have to protect Jalen Hurts at the end of the day and get points on the board. So, hoping we win this game. Becoming 4-0 and winning your first division game is very good. Winning the division games definitely helps out by the end of the year. So you have to win these games. Division games are very important, just in case if the Eagles don't win a crap ton of games this year, which I feel like we're floating towards a better game than last week offensively. I think last week was the best offensive game plan we had. Certain things we need to figure out. Red zone offense, got to get that going. I don't want to pass the ball from the 1 yard line. Okay. This team is so damn good, and I don't feel like I have to really worry about too much, but I'm not going to say that the Commanders are an easy team to beat, because the Eagles could shoot themselves in the foot and lose this game. Okay. Jack Del Rio, really gave the Eagles some bulletin material this past week, talking about the tush push. I am so fucking tired of everybody talking about this shit. I am tired of it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Now I want to use this play a million times a game. I want to piss off Jack Del Rio so much with the tush push, the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it, okay? I want to use this a million times. I don't care if it's third and short. At the end of the day, if you don't want the Eagles to do this, put tush push, then don't get in short yardage situations. Don't get us in that position. Otherwise, we're going to use it, and they're going to lose. Simple as that. They won't stop us on that play. It's impossible. Not any team could do this play. Number one, your offensive line's got to be great. Number two, your offensive line's got to get low. Number three, your quarterback could squat 500-600 pounds, as I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. Very strong lower body. That's what makes that play work great. Can't do that. Every team just can't do it naturally like the Eagles can. And I think it comes down to personnel, and that's where it matters. So throw the record books out. This is going to be a dogfight, and I think the Eagles can separate in this game. I think they could score 31 points. I think this will be a 31-17 type game. I think in the second half, they will start to separate a little bit. We need to get the run game going and see how that's going to go with DeAndre Swift. And I have no issue running on the Washington Commanders. No issue at all. So that's all I really got to say. There's a lot of respect that goes to the Commanders. I feel like the Commanders actually have a really good team. I feel like the past few years they've had a very good team. The problem is the quarterback. The weakness of that offense is the quarterback and somewhat of the offensive line, but mostly the quarterback here. I'm not going to take last week's game they played against the Bills and say, oh, this is going to be nothing. No, I'm not going to say that because easily, if Sam Howell has time, that guy could throw. That guy, when he's comfortable, when he's not phased or he's very determined, he will make every throw. But when you scare the shit out of him or when you hit him and kind of make him panic a little bit, throw off the back foot, he will start to do some stuff. He'll force throws. He's done it. He's done it the past few games already. He will force some throws, and it will come the other way of the Eagles, okay? So we'll see what happens here, but it's going to be real interesting, though. But other than that, let me know what you guys think about the matchup between Washington and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are home for this game. Talk about the injury report in general. Sidney Brown being out. Keely Ringo to safety. Olamide Zaccheaus is getting his second shot with Quez Watkins being out of this game, too. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? Follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.